are some tech choices running around for the beginning of the new format? Don't be the 30% of you that have not smashed the elven crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Number one on our list here is going to be Salesman. Oh boy, we've come a long way. That a card that just lets you declare a card name actually is starting to generate some play out here. Well, just so happens that if you call Nibiru during turn one of the game, or any other devastating hand trap that you don't main deck or play or you're worried about here, you'll be able to set up a very safe Kashtira board. And that's what we're starting to see here, is a few players are starting to look at Salesman here, and they're starting to want to take advantage of that. And I think that's a very good thing at the end of the day, that we can see Salesman entering back into the format here as a cute little tech choice here. That's going to give players a little bit more of an option tree here to kind of stabilize and set up boards, which at the end of the day, once again, is what you need as a Kashtira player. You need that security to make sure you can do your thing, which ties into Crossout Designator here. So, is Salesman better than Crossout Designator? Well, Crossout Designator forces you to main deck those bad cards. If you are looking at the current format right now and you're like, well, you know, like, as a Kashtira player, I don't really want to main deck Nibiru's, then that's where you would choose something like Salesman. But if you're looking at wanting to play some of these cards that are going to be more of a devastating option for you, that's where you would give some consideration to the Crossout Designator, because it would just fit right back in to your already existing strategy. So it's an interesting give and take, because we've seen far more Crossout Designator actually doing things, but at the end of the day, I don't think that Crossout feels any better than Salesman. And that's really an awkward thing to say, but Crossout can hit a lot more in the mirror too. But I just feel like right now, with the current steady pace of this format, people just don't want to adapt to it. Next up is the Brave package. So, good old Griffin Rider back at it again out here, forcing people to, I guess, reevaluate here and give some consideration to what they can really do. Well, the Brave package in Kashtira right now is really, really strong if you opt to play it, because it gives you the Griffin Rider. You can break up, well, you can't really break a board with it, but it gives you protection against Space Rock. It's like the big reason why. But you have other options for protecting the Space Rock. But I mean, also Plunder Patrol's taking advantage of this right now, and you know, they didn't top the YCS or anything, but like, they're a pretty semi-viable deck this format. And I think that's kind of something worth really considering out here at the end of the day. Is, you know, just because a deck doesn't top a major event doesn't mean that you don't need to know how to play against it. That's my favorite thing of the format. Being unprepared will always punish you. Drawing Lockbird, baby. Oh my gosh. Do you know how many people just walk in to this stupid card and just get punished for it? Like, set up full combo search, get drolled, and your opponent's like, what am I supposed to do to this? The answer is, well, nothing. A Droll and Lockbird resolution, as long as, you know, the walking, talking floodgate machine's not on the field, should get you a turn, because, you know, the Droll and interactions with RFG is no good. To be perfectly honest with you, I like the interaction that Droll tries to bring to the table for these particulars, but I think a lot of people are kind of looking at the format and going, you know, Droll, after they establish the card, is just a dead draw, but I mean, it's going to be a dead draw anyway, because they're already winning the game, alright? So, just something to point out there at the end of the day. Droll does do preventative measures. Next up is Lava Golem and Sphere Mode. You know, we're at the point right now in the format that players are literally just looking at this and they're going, you know, like, you've got people main decking Lava Golem. Kashtira is main decking Lava Golem right now to stop those interactions with the opponent. Think about that, all right? The Kashtira mirror match is so toxic that players are main decking Lava Golem. I repeat, they're main decking Lava Golem in order to play the game. Now, Sphere Mode coming up, depending on what you're playing. I mean, you gotta remember that not every deck will be able to play Lava Golem, not every deck will be able to play Sphere Mode. It depends on, you know, do I need, you know, a normal summon Reliance or something else along that way. But, you have many board breakers right now. A lot of things are showing up, and it is very, very strong. Now, there's also the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare over here. So this is actually an old card for number hunters that literally says, if this card is special summoned, you cannot special summon any monsters for this turn except for Gimmick Puppets. So what in the world is going on with this? Well, you hand this to your opponent off of Expulsion. So this is unlike the Ra's Disciple, which was kind of cool, by the way. I liked Ra's Disciple, but we went ahead and we've upgraded to the Gimmick Puppet here because basically when you would out the Ra's Disciple, they'd be able to special summon again. Well, now you hand the Nightmare to your opponent and they can't play the game because it sets a condition on the opponent that they can only special summon Gimmick Puppets for the rest of the turn. Is this fair? No, not at all. But I will tell you that this is the newest slice of bread for the community, and they're going to be reaching pretty far to try to get these so that they can play the game. Next up is Judgment of the Pharaoh. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this was we just came off of a virtual world list that was citing the Judgment of the Pharaoh package again. And the whole point of the Judgment of the Pharaoh package is you can Beatrice drop the Yujo Friendship or the Unity. Then you roll out the Yujo Friendship to either create a lock on your opponent where they cannot play the game via monsters, or if you drop the Unity, they cannot play the game via spells and traps or anything in the back row. Is this good? Is it amazing? It's gimmicky. It's very gimmicky. I will say that. But at the end of the day, it is something new. It is something that players can look at right now. And it's a different flavor of format that they can experiment around with. So it is, in terms of tech choices, actually kind of cool. I actually am very happy to see something like that actually performing well out here. We also have the Infinitrack Goliath. Now, this is an interesting one because obviously Pot of Prosperity, dropping the Goliath down into the banish pile and then being able to toggle the Rise Heart to reattach that as a material here is very, very strong in this format. But the problem is, in the mirror match, your opponent can also take your Infinitrack, and then guess what? Now they're indestructible. So this is actually kind of funny because, in the mirror, it's bad, but in every other matchup, Infinitrack Goliath passing on that material is actually pretty solid. So some real things to consider here. I think it's a cute little idea at the end of the day that you can dedicate an extra deck slot to a combo of Pot of Prosperity and be able to make this little package viable. But it's just that. It's just an idea. Next up is Lingaribo. So, to get Nightmare Corruptor Ibleed or to not get Nightmare Corruptor Ibleed is the question. A lot of players right now are looking at Nightmare Corruptor Ibleed, and they're playing the package. Whether or not it's in the main, the side, they're playing 2 Nightmare Corruptor Ibleeds to be able to stop the opponent from debolsing their extra deck and ripping away their Lingaribo so that they can lock or unlock the lock. Well, that's those are your interactions in terms of that. But to be honest with you, it's just very interesting to see, Lingaribo out here being a tech choice to kind of counter Nightmare Corruptor Ibleed. Glad to see that we do have an answer to it, but man, oh man, it is a little bit of a problem once it kind of starts getting going here. So, a little bit of a heads up here on that one. You've been warned. We'll have to wait and see if this continues to stick around. And the last real tech choice here is Artifact Lancia / cards that prevent cards from getting removed. So people are Pearl Iron Wall. It's pick your flavor of anti-Kashtira removal is what it feels like. Now, whether or not it's going to be good enough to get the game back to your turn really leaves something to be said for sure. But Yu-Gi-Oh players, they're willing to try anything out here, even if it doesn't seem like it's the really best idea at the end of the day. So I ask you, what do you guys think about these tech choices? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.